Here, here I am. Here, here is, here is that. Is the end of the world. Well, not end of the world. You know what I mean. Probably gonna title this "The Best 60 Minutes of My Life." Till, till the price. I think that'd be the best title. Somebody, like, a comment made me think about that. I don't know who the comment is, but I would so give you credit for that. It was like the wildest 60 minutes of my life. Everything from Mario Kart to Donkey Kong. Well, we got confirmation about the Nintendo Switch exclusive upgrade for the Switch 2. So any game you bought, if they want to release a patch, they can. But there's something I wanted to bring up. There's been this really weird thing going on with the direct that came out today, April the 2nd of 2025. Not only did they not drop pricing during the direct, I've I've been going through the direct. You know, when I direct, I've been going through Nintendo's website, which is probably, you know, still because not an a-hole. Editing magic. Trying to figure out what to do to make this. We're just gonna rank that. We're just. I might actually use this setup that I got here, though there's a lot of empty space over here, over here, over here. I gotta figure out what to do here. I may not do anything. It may just be empty space. I apologize. If anybody sees this and they have an idea what I can do over here, or just leave this empty void, which this year has been really bad for my dry skin. I need to get moisturizing cream or something. I've been there. There have been things happening to my skin that I've wondered for a while if I have eczema. I might actually have eczema. I would go see a doctor because the doctor's points I usually have don't even ask. The biggest thing is like it seems like my hands get better when I'm home. So that's something I ask. But basically, what I'm here to do is just bring up some things. Nintendo did, and I think this was by design. They didn't want to say too much about what was going on during the direct. Uh, about like, I wonder if I were to take, if I were to take, if I were to take that and just drop it. I could just do right here. Would that be better because of the angle that you're viewing me at? Boy, we're doing something live. Well, you know what? You guys tell me. You like this better or you like the other way? You have options now. Yeah, the direct happened for that over here. This guy, that over here. And then over here we're gonna talk about things. I have opinions. You can already tell with this face. No, I'm not okay. I was at work. Okay, so they didn't say a lot. They didn't drop the price. I mean, they didn't, yeah, well, they didn't say anything about the price. In fact, Wait, what was that about discounts? Oh, I thought something about discounts. This is Nintendo Switch Online. Cool. Yeah, they dropped all this was cool. I never bought any of the NSO specific controllers. Don't really have much to say on that. I never bought any of them. It's cool that they're giving them out. I have a GameCube controller I was trying to unload, like offload back to GameStop, whatever, because I bought it from there, I think. And it had no trade credit, so they weren't going to take it from me. That's kind of sad that a controller like that I got was like that. But I don't think this controller is going to act like a Nintendo Switch, Nintendo GameCube controller. I'm pretty sure the patent for that's long since gone. But yeah, they're releasing that, and then what upgrade packs of no addition. Wait a minute. Nintendo Switch Online Plus members will be able to play Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2. More games coming in the future. Some games include fun in-game options like retro screen filter and widescreen gameplay. Selected upgrade packs at no additional cost. This was not stated during the direct when they were talking about upgrade packs. In fact, all they mentioned is the things we're gonna get. There was gonna be an upgrade pack for, various games, but you would have to purchase them to gain access. So for a lot of people, they thought that maybe they were gonna be paying $10, maybe 20, because some games were coming out at an $80 price point, and Mario Kart earlier this month caused a lot of people to panic for good reason, because it was sitting at $89.99. Basically, it was being the first $90 game in existence. I got something to say about that, and actually there's an update. I haven't seen anybody talk about this ever since people were freaking out about it earlier. So I hope to be maybe one of the first people to report on this. A lot of games are coming out at the $80 price point. I'm hoping what's really going on, and we'll find out as we closer to April. As we get closer to June 5th, 2025 is when the Switch 2 is coming out. And also next week for a lot of us in America, pretty much everywhere in the world, we'll be scrambling to get our hands on this monstrosity right here. Wait, why can't I? This is really telling about where I'm at mentally. But this guy over here, this point right here, getting to Switch 2, I'm gonna be one of those people. Fun fact: when the Nintendo Switch 1, when that fiasco happened, there were probably too many people in the world who are too young for that. Be grateful. But when the Nintendo Switch fiasco, happened, I was interested in the device at the time. I was waiting for a certain game to come out, and when that game finally got announced is when I got invested getting Switch. I'm here today, but this is a different year, different me. I have a different job than I did at that point. I'm in a different headspace. Same background. People probably who on my channel have seen this video. I hope you're doing fine. Recognize the background. I will say I'm in higher definition. Thank you, Elgato. So some things have changed. It's just the way I do things here on the internet. Basically, start rambling because it's 9 minutes already. But apparently, selected upgrade packs are gonna be free if you have a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I heard about the Legend of Zelda thing being free, which, by the way, yes, if you have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, you can get the Legend of Zelda upgrades for both games free of charge. They won't charge you. Um, that's great. Actually, it's right there in the bold, right underneath it. Get those at free of charge, which makes me wonder, because this is also something that wasn't stated. They're talking about you can enjoy NSO on the Nintendo Switch 2, just like you would on Nintendo Switch 1. There wasn't talk of a price hike, which I think a lot of us expected, and I think a lot of us are still expecting, because they're giving us GameCube with no talk of a price hike, and that's scary because that's something I would expect if they were giving us another console, because that's what they did when they gave us Game Boy Advance and N64. Is they rose the price. There's no way they're going to keep the price at whatever it is right now. I think like $50. I think a year. Um, but I'm expecting a price hike. What's probably gonna happen, and I'm willing to put. Well, I will say I'm willing to put money on it, but I'm not really. I'm willing to put money on that in May we'll hear about a price hike, because there's no way they could sell this and still keep margins high, because like what's gonna really hurt them is the pricing of video games and the pricing of the Switch 2, which is like 450 for the base model, just for the console, and then there's like 500 for like the base model, including this, you know, including the game Mario Kart World Tour. Mario Kart World. I don't know why I called it World Tour. That's not the Mario Kart World. I don't know. Like, it's like that's gonna cost some people, and it's like for me at first I was thinking just getting the console, buy the game digitally or buy it physically. Games are gonna get way more expensive over the course of the next 8 years. If there's a way for me to not fall into Nintendo's trap within the first year of the Switch being out, I'd be dumb not to take it. Like they're handing people a golden ticket basically to get the game basically at $50 because they've like removed the ability to use vouchers for Switch 2 games. They removed the gold points back in March, just last month. They removed gold points from earning, which is weird because like now, what is the incentive? Maybe that's the point. Maybe they're trying to like, because you get more points for buying it physically than you would digitally. Now with the gold points being there, I guess there's no incentive between physical and digital now. And maybe that's what they were trying to do, was remove any real incentive. The only thing is platinum points, and unless you're actively on Nintendo's website, which let's be honest, this is in the early 2000s. Like you're not really on Nintendo's site all that, so you're not gonna be earning platinum points. And you do earn platinum points for doing certain actions on the Switch, because like NSO tells you if you open up a game that you earn points that and you won't even know because it's not like you're opening up the NSO app on your Switch anyway. That's the other thing. You're not opening up our NSO app, on our Switch all that often. Me at all. I don't really do it for like the customization vanity stuff. Other than that, I rarely open it up now. I don't know, like I feel like Nintendo's got to give us something monetarily discounted or something like that. I guess they don't really have to. They don't have to do anything. But to me, you gotta know that this is gonna hurt a lot of their fans and a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who give Nintendo benefit of the doubt. I'm one of them. There are a lot of people who put trust in Nintendo, like inherent trust, trust that no other game company gets. Nintendo gets that inherent trust, and this is like one of those ways I say they break that inherent trust. But in some cases, people's inherent trust doesn't die. That's dangerous. So it's like I don't know what they're gonna do. Then apparently, here are the changes coming to NSO app. They're rebranding it. But it'll continue to offer voice chat and player support titles. And when Splatoon 3, but like Splatoon 3 is one of those titles, in my opinion, and also Animal Crossing New Horizons, that I honestly feel like they could probably offer Switch 2 a pack that helps them take advantage of the help them take advantage of the Switch 2's hardware. Especially with load times. Like, can you imagine if you were playing Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2025? I don't know why you'd be playing, unless you just started the game for the first time. I don't know why you'd be playing that. Splatoon 3 I could say because people still play competitively, but these games could really benefit from like faster load times, and then like Splatoon 3 could easily take advantage of the Wi-Fi 6 that's inside the Switch 2. So like some of these games that benefit from a Wi-Fi upgrade, Splatoon 3 getting that would be awesome. Because like they did that, it would give them time to let Splatoon 3 rest, let it be the thing people play as a shooter, and it will allow them to be able to think about the next Splatoon game entry in the thing, Splatoon Frontier, or Splatoon New Ink, something that they could do, that would push Splatoon forward, because there's no way they can make Splatoon push forward right now. Too many things are going around. Donkey Kong's coming out in July. That's gonna take up most of people's time right there. And then the following month, Kirby's upgrade pack is coming out for Forgotten Land. People love that game, me included. I'm glad I played that when I did. That was a good game, Kirby. Yeah, Kirby's Air Ride, which is coming out sometime this year. Masahiro Sakurai is, heading that one. Sure hope he doesn't have another egg on his face moment with that, because if he does, he'll probably never make another Air Ride game ever again for us ungrateful people. But yeah, I think Animal Crossing Splatoon 3 would be great candidates. Uh, they got Zelda's Nodes, which I don't foresee myself. Things like, would I mind going back with Zelda's Nodes to go after like the shrines that I missed and the Korok seeds that I never collected? It sounds interesting, but when I get into the minutia in my brain about like what I would need to do to do that, I'm dissuaded. And on top of that, it would include me need to use this thing. Uh, Me, like a lot of people, don't really use this thing. I downloaded it thinking that cooler things would eventually show up on here. And it's been 8 years. It's kind of been the same. The next Splatoon game will essentially end up on here. The next new Animal Crossing game will end up on here. So I mean, like there are things I'm expecting. Also on here, Nintendo Switch 2, you'll be able to access the most recent 100 screenshots and video captures via the app, making it easy to share with others. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Inherently, because it sounds like maybe the app is getting an upgrade where it gains access to your Switch's internal hard drive. I mean, internal storage, wirelessly. Because my thing's like, I have a lot of screenshots. Just you taking pictures of random moments in my game, and a lot of them are very stupid. I mean, like I have probably a north of 50 plus screenshots of my character in Nintendo Switch Sports, which yes, I play that and I get a kick out of it. In fact, I'll be playing it after I'm done with this video. Judge me all you. You know what? Also, I go by Alter on that game, so if you encountered a character with blue hair called Alter, that was me. Yeah, I don't know. I will say that when it comes to accessing those pictures, sometimes I would like to look at them, but I really don't want to have to come to my Switch to turn it on because it's a process. Though I've streamlined it now, so it's just a button. Love this. I streamlined this, and now it's just a button to get to my Switch 2, which my Switch 1, but basically my Switch 2 would now be the button press that um I'm gonna have a really interesting time. I might need to buy separate Joy-Con for the transition. We'll get to that in a minute. Because I've been like thinking I'm probably gonna sell my Switch 1 so I can recoup some money from buying this new system. Um oh, this is interesting too. Apparently this update is going to make Nintendo Switch app available to anybody without a Nintendo without an online, without an NSO membership. So they're making that available to everybody without it, which is actually cool and probably should have been done a long time ago. There's no real value added to the service with that. But the Nintendo, apparently you need, well, I mean, which makes sense. You need to buy into the membership to get the online accessibility. I hope we'll eventually, well, apparently my webcam decided to freeze. Sorry about that. I hope what that means is, maybe eventually, I guess it freezes when I'm not looking at the camera. Sorry. But like, I hope what that means is that eventually online will just be free, and will be paying into something else, like the NSO, like the SENS packaging games, like retro games that we get. I hope that's what that means. Eventually, maybe with the increasing price of everything and the whole tariff situation, which if you ever see this in the future, like 4 years from now, by the way, I sure hope things are better 4 years from now. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but if you happen to see this 4 years from now, I sure hope that we're in a better spot. You know what I'm talking about. So here we have Nintendo Switch launches at June 5th, which is cool. That, I mean, it gives me time to pay for this. So the base price is gonna be $449 with all the extra, things that your store is gonna try selling you on, Pro controllers and the like. So it comes with the console, Joy-Con controllers, Joy-Con grip straps on the dock, an HDMI cable, which means the HDMI cable comes with the regular Switches will not be able to hot swap, which means there's probably gonna be a mini HDMI cable, probably. Well, it doesn't say that. It's just ultra high speed HDMI cable, which is interesting. I've never seen an HDMI cable referred to like that. You have a AC adapter and a USB-C charging cable. Racing, well, here's something in the text here. Racing to Nintendo Switch 2 with Nintendo Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World bundle for suggested retail price of $500, which is included in the system. Download code for Mario Kart World game available on launch day. I will say this is gonna vary how much above 500 you're gonna go in every state in the United States, especially with the tariff situation. Like mileage is gonna vary with how much, because it also depending on, I suspect there's gonna be a lot of people piling on $100. So like a lot of people, they're probably spending $600 on the purchase. They announced game chat, and it is what it is with game chat. virtual game cards add benefits to games, which is probably why they like. There's been a really weird push towards digital purchasing on Nintendo's part. And they announced virtual game cards like last week. Then that later on this month there was going to be an update to Nintendo Switch One to allow you to eject digital games from your Switch into another Switch. And then two was going to allow you to be able to temporarily eject a game into somebody else's Switch. So it looks like I don't know how true that is. Hold up. The virtual game cards, players can easily manage all their purchased digital games, play games on two different systems, or even lend or borrow games. The virtual game card menu shows up as shows all the digital games purchased for the user's Nintendo account, making it easier to access the games, load them onto the system. Once your virtual game card is loaded onto a system, it can be played even if the system is not connected to the internet. And other users who are on the system can also play the game. Additionally, digital games can be lent and borrowed among members of the same Nintendo family group in the form of virtual game cards. So it's still from the same Nintendo account family group. So I can't just lend my. I can't. This is the thing where like this whole lending system would work for me if like I could lend my sister a game, but she's not a part of my. She's not a part of my account family group, which is another thing. I don't understand what Nintendo account family group is about, because it doesn't seem like they're talking about the NSO online thing. Is it possible that now I'm curious, does that mean that, say if I had a friend who wasn't on my family group on my Switch who doesn't have a profile, if they wanted to borrow a game for 2 weeks, say like Mario Wonder for instance, because they don't know if they want to play it or even buy it, I could just shoot them the game into their system. I think they gotta explain that better, because it was very, very all over the place when they initially explained it. Because what would be beneficial to me, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, it'd be cool if you could just shoot a game because you bought it, right? Like shoot a digital copy into someone else's Switch for only 2 weeks. And that goes for anybody, and they could just play it, and you'll just come back to your Switch. Yes, you'll lose access to it for that time, but that's the risk that you run by letting somebody borrow a game. So it's probably best you finish the game first before you go out and lending it to people. I would need to really look into that family group business, because I need to know what that exactly means. Because if it like, because if it means like lending to people that I know, it looks like I might need to get a family group together or whatever to allow that to happen. So that means I could shoot a game on somebody else's Switch, and I can still keep my Switch, and they just play it on their system, and they just have it for 2 weeks, and they want to borrow it again, I can just shoot them the game again. Though I have to be in the same state or in the same area, I would say, because like they're not gonna let you do it. They're not gonna let you do it online, which is interesting. I wonder why the limitation is in person versus online. I think there should be a limitation on that. There's the thing too, is like, how is that gonna work when it's supposed to come back to you? Because that's the thing, is like it's gonna leave their Switch and come back to you. But what if they're in what if you're in two different states? Does it just go, like, does the Switch just know that the game's back, or how does that work? Game chat's gonna be free for half a year, which is cool. So I'll have it, like a lot of us who have an SO will just have it because we pay for this. We pay for that dumb subscription anyway. shouldn't say dumb. I mean, it's a nice little bonus. I'll say that. They got to make their money somehow by giving those games for free. The parental app thing. Also should be available to pre-order in North America from retails April 9th. I'm gonna try to release this thing today. This video, I mean. I already got like a reminder set for April 9th. So like I'm gonna make sure I can find a place. The games that they were announced for Switch 2, like half those games I wouldn't have believed you if you told me that this was gonna happen last year. I think in fact I saw rumors about stuff like for Nintendo Switch 2, like Elden Ring. I was like, there's no way that's gonna be that powerful. Like there's no way. I'm surprised I'm seeing Elden Ring running on this system. So this is Nintendo putting their foot into their culinary skills. But like, I mean, with that kind of power, that means there are a lot of things that can happen. Even games like Pokemon, for instance, they can get a huge visual boost, which is insane for me to believe, because like I enjoy the way Pokemon looks. I don't think it looks bad. I think people who are complaining about the looks of the game don't know what they're talking about. That's just my own take on it, because I don't understand. Like, it doesn't look bad. The game looks exactly how I anticipated it to look. Well, enough of that. I've been struggling to make a video on that, and I just said, screw it. There's no point. Somehow inserted my own thoughts into this video. Good job, me. Good job, me. Let's see here. Some new games. Sid Meier's Civilizations. I'm not gonna into Switch because of that mouse functionality. I'm still struggling with how or if I'm gonna be using that functionality. It feels like something that like is cool, and that's something that it's something dumb that I would like, because I like dumb things like that. But I can't. I mean, Drag and Drive might be the one thing I might. Like, it looks interesting enough, and it looks like a better version of I'm gonna get set on fire. But like, hear me out. It looks like a better version of Rocket League to me. Hear me out. I know I've caused a lot of people to start typing into the comments, but hear me out. Rocket League never clicked with me, and by that I mean I have Rocket League. Spent $20 on it because it was a huge craze back in the day. Well, how to play it never clicked with me. I had friends that were very good at the game, but I had friends that were really good at the game, or get really good at the game. Though they don't really play that much nowadays, but they were really good at the game. Like, they did things that I couldn't even imagine you were able to do with a game with a soccer ball in a car. Like, it just wasn't, my brain wasn't, the synapses weren't firing. Anytime I picked up a controller, it just, as a drive car, hit ball, drive car, hit ball, drive car. When it came down to actually trying to do scoring or even block, nothing was clicking. And it was like, what am I lacking that other people have and to be able to make that game work? So I never really clicked with Rocket League. At least a Drag and Drive, it seems way more like my brain as I was watching it was clicking. I couldn't say the same thing for Rocket League. And that's just like where I'm coming from. It's like, I guess I can't be the only, I hope I'm not the only one who feels this way. It's like, that means like it's something wrong with me in that regard of like what don't you get about Rocket League? I get the basics. When it comes to control, I never mastered it or even had the desire to master it because it never clicked with me. But with that being said, got Mario Kart World coming. As for the games, we have Mario Kart World coming, which is, boy, were those rumors like spot on. That was crazy. Oh, like, jeez. They got a leak in Nintendo that they need to clog, seriously. And then Donkey Kong Bonanza. This was crazy because I think it was last year. Oh, during that Nintendo leak, it was revealed that there was a Donkey Kong game in development a long time ago at some point. I think during the early stages of the Nintendo Switch, there was a Donkey Kong game in development, and they got to a point where they had like art, but then the plug got pulled out on the game. A part of me has I have two theories on that, which is one, the game got pulled, because like it wasn't working on the Switch. Don't mind that. Windows computers. Yeah, the game got pulled because it wasn't working on the Switch, or it wasn't the direction that they were going. Wasn't, it was the direction they wanted. Or two, which is probably what really happened, is that they were told to pause development because this was being made during nearing the end of the Switch's life, and they were realizing this was not going to come out at a decent time. That was a good screenshot. I don't know with how long that froze my face. It probably will be a screenshot, but there probably wasn't a good. There was probably they weren't going to be able to get this game out on the Switch one, so it wasn't going to really matter at the end of the day. So what they did was like they immediately took development, put it onto the Switch 2, and that's what we got. It's like that game got ported to the Switch 2, or not ported, but it got reworked enough where it was going to be put on the Switch 2. It's like, that's a really good looking game. Like Donkey Kong literally, and it was probably during the rebranding of Donkey Kong's look, which is like what started this game in the first place. Like, I guess for a reason they really wanted to give Donkey Kong googly eyes, and he did it. I'm very excited for Bonanza. It'll be something I'll be picking up. The new capabilities of Switch 2 allow for compatible physical and digital games release on Nintendo Switch to receive paid Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade packs featuring enhanced graphics, exclusive content offerings, and new gameplay experiences. This just means we're going to be adding things to the game that make it better on the Switch 2, which I think a lot of people were expecting. I was hesitant on this because it didn't seem like something Nintendo would do. Nintendo has a history of making you buy the same thing twice. So that's cool. Which is the first game to take advantage of that Super Mario Party Jamboree. Then the Legend of Zelda games I brought up before, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which, by the way, there's a Hyrule Warriors game based on the story bits that we didn't see in Tears of the Kingdom, which I thought was a good choice, because like what happened to Zelda is very important. At least to me it was, or should I say, very interesting, because like we get a chance to see some of her memories without spoiling anything. We get a chance to see some of her memories about what happened to her when when she got taken to the past. We didn't get a chance to see all of it. We only saw bits and pieces that mattered to the current game, but it was always interesting to me. I was like, I always wanted to know more about what Zelda was doing, because we got hints about what happened throughout the time that she was there, and it was clear that she was there for a long time. And then on top of that, what happens at the end of her journey during her time in the past is even more interesting, because it connects really heavily what's going on in the main game. I'm not gonna say any more than that. I have a habit of saying too much. I think I said just enough for people who weren't aware of Tears of the Kingdom or wanted to play it to pick it up. And also, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you get the upgrades for free so that the game runs better. Like I would probably turn it on specifically just to go to Korok Village. That place is notorious for running bad, so it'd be interesting to see that game running that area at a better frame rate. So that'd be cool. I suspect a lot of people are gonna probably do that just to show off like how much better Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom run. That's cool, and they're gonna look better too. Kirby in the Forgotten Land gets in a patch too. And it gets new content, a star-crossed world. I said this before, and I'll just say it again to emphasize. I loved Kirby's Forgotten Land. I was kind of disappointed when I got to the end of it that there wasn't any more content. There was a mode that I never did, and it involved Meta Knight. But I was good. I enjoyed what they gave me, and you know there was talk about maybe Forgotten Land DLC, but nothing ever came of it. So I'm guessing this is what came of it. So we're gonna get additional content they will have to pay for to be added into the game. I hope it really happens. And this was an idea that I had earlier on, like last week, was like for the upgraded versions, they make you pay for them, but they only make the people who don't pay for online, you know, Nintendo Switch Online to pay for them. So like that's an extra $20 they can get from people who don't pay for on like online. And for the people who pay online, give us these upgrades for free. Yeah, should probably be giving things out at a loss at some point. But again, there's games you're selling us, I mean, at $80. There's gotta be some wiggle room in some of this stuff too. You can't be selling us a patch for an old game much as you want to. You know, it doesn't make sense. At least, you know, ethically and morally. Monetarily, no, it doesn't make sense to get these for free. So I can understand why they're doing it. I'm just not a huge fan. This is something I'm gonna say, and like I'm just gonna be real. This is for all the people out there who are buying Metroid Prime 4. Get a Switch 2. Buy that specifically on buy Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on the Switch 2. I know you're gonna be tempted, because I'm still tempted to buy it on the Switch 1 and just buy the freaking upgrade patch. But to me, I think it'd just be better in the long run for all of us. I know you don't want to do it. I suspect that's gonna be $80. Spend the $80. Now you know what I watch in my free time. What a world. But yeah, I'm being serious. I think it'd be better in the long term. But here's the thing. Yes, Metroid Prime 4 was slated for Nintendo Switch. And yeah, it's messed up that now we're in a situation. I think we all always knew this was going to be the situation, because basically back when they announced Prime 4, they had begun development on the game for Switch 1. And when they announced that Retro was taking back over and starting over production from scratch, that was like 3 years or 4 years into the Switch's life. And we had heard about Metroid Prime 4 at the very beginning of the Switch's launch. So 4 years into the development of that game, they scrapped everything. So in the back of my mind, I always thought, you know, they probably were going to try to hit the Switch for releasing this game, so they didn't, you know, they weren't lying. And they're still not lying, because it's coming on the Switch. They revealed that. But here's the thing, to me, I'd say wait. Especially if you're not trying to get a Switch 2 like immediately. I know some are. I would wait for that game to drop and then just buy Switch 2 base with that. It's by that point, if it's coming out in September or like October this year, Metroid Prime 4, I mean, the Switch 2 bundle for Mario Kart will have already expired, and it'd be waiting to reboot in November for Black Friday. Buying that with a Switch 2 would be so much better, and it'd be more lucrative for Nintendo to show them that people want more Metroid Prime. So there's a chance of making a Metroid Prime 5 on the Switch 2. Maybe, maybe not. Who the heck knows? Depends on how Metroid Prime 4 ends. They call it Beyond, and they got another story writing in for Metroid Beyond Dread, which that's gonna be another thing too. Is like, can't wait to see what that 2D Metroid game is gonna look like, because like with the added horsepower, there's gonna be a heyday with Metroid. Though I suspect that maybe the next Metroid game won't, the main Metroid game won't be 2D. I suspect because like Metroid is one of the other games that hasn't really gone fully 3D yet. They tried with Other M and that didn't do so well. They could try again now, and this time go along with the plot line of, you know, our girl Samus Aran running away from the Federation. That'd be cool. On top of that, Metroid Prime 4 here, like, again, it's like you can run this game at 4K 60. Everybody's been wondering, and you know, Droly got the idea of playing Nintendo games at 4K. Well, you can. Now you can play a freaking Nintendo game at 4K 60. Either that, or you could play it at 1080 120 if you have the monitor for it. I'm still just like, can you imagine the crossfire that's gonna be seen on 120 FPS? Things are gonna come at you faster than you are able to respond, and I'm here for it. And then we have Pokemon ZA. Not much more to say than I already said. There's a Nintendo Switch 2 version, enhanced resolution and frame rates. I will say the frame rate, this is gonna be a game I think I'm gonna be buying strictly on the Switch 2. That's why I buy it on Switch 1. Doesn't make sense. Unless the Switch 2 version is gonna take a little bit longer to come out, then it's like, well, maybe you should just buy it at the game and then wait for the patch. But the thing is, it says it's coming late 2025. I'm guessing November. Then we got Masahiro Sakurai's game that he's been producing, working on. Kirby Air Riders, which is kind of funny because we already have a racing game coming out this year, and there's a Kirby DLC that I know he's not a part of. So, and he's like coming out 2025. We already got World Tour, so my only suspicion is like they're expecting World Tour to not last probably beyond September in terms of like all the hype behind it. Is my suspicion. But I'm guessing it's only like, I'm gonna guess that it's 60 hours of content within World Tour at this very moment. But after seeing the map and the fact that everything is connected, you can get to anywhere from anywhere. Like that map, if you haven't seen it, look at the map. You can get to anywhere from anywhere in Mario Kart World. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna enjoy doing some of that. It probably also means that the Mario Kart streams will be returning. Although I don't know. My friend group, they're not like me when it comes to Nintendo. They don't have like a heart on for them. This was, I guess, a way to put it. Like they're not necessarily attached like I am. Who's willing to pay these like exorbitant prices? They got Dragon Drive. Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. I'm not gonna say any more than this game should not be paid. I don't care what it took for you to make this tech demo, which by the way, tech demo. This thing should not be any more than $2 if you're asking us to give it money. But even that's too much. This thing should just be free. You should just be able to download it and just use it for a day if I want to. I wonder if like, because they didn't give out any prices for a lot of games. I wonder if this thing actually has a freaking price on it. You know what I don't understand? This is looking like to me that you could become one of the people at the kiosk in the stores. Though I'm not gonna lie, I can't click on anything here. I don't know. Again, I don't know why they're asking us to pay money for this. If what I'm expecting this is gonna cost, it's gonna cost people, it's gonna cost us $25. That's my suspicion. That's coming out on like the release, the launch of the Switch. Then they have all these games, Dust Blood, Hades 2. Dust Blood is actually this is an interesting title. Strictly from the concept that this is a FromSoft game made specifically for the Switch 2. So like Miyazaki apparently is making a game with the idea with the bones of the Nintendo Switch behind it. So I'm actually kind of interested in like what this game is gonna look and like, run like. Huh, it's a multiplayer title. Huh. Because I don't think we're gonna get Night Rain. Well, I mean, I have a PC to play these games. I don't ever see myself ever wanting to or thinking it's a good idea to play a Souls game on a held and a Nintendo console like that. I'm one of those people who buy a Nintendo console specifically to run Nintendo first games. Though I will say I'm like I've gotten to the point now where I understand that Nintendo Switch 2 is also an indie runner. Hades 2 might be a good game to get on the Switch. I don't know. I've never I've lost interest in playing Madden after such a long time. Hyrule Wars, that's interesting though. They have this, and I never finished it. Mainly because I lost interest in it. Really quickly as I played it. This little guy I actually had stolen from me. The little keychain. I lost it in a dealership. I don't know what happened to it. I think it might have fallen off. A part of me thinks that the mechanic that was working on my car, he's the one that took it because he had my car keys. Because it was there before I gave him the keychain. I mean, gave him my keys, and I got my keys back, and the thing was missing. But like, I feel like there was a mechanic in there that knew what Legend of Zelda was. Either that, or I thought this was a cool little thing. Either that, or it dropped off. It dropped inside the dealership, and because I don't go back probably more than once a year, like, I never got it back, so I lost the pre-order bonus, and I'm still upset about that. But the other thing too that's really bad about that game, and it's not even from a gameplay perspective, it's from the fact that it ran bad. That game, I hope Koei Tecmo, before the launch of this game, Age of Imprisonment, that they tell us that Age of Calamity will get a patch, like maybe a few months into Switch 2's life cycle, to smooth that out, because like it needs a smoothing out. Like it need to be able to play it and enjoy it. I think it needs a smoothing out. Split Fiction coming to the Switch. Probably would buy it on Steam before I would buy it here. Um, I already have Intergrade, and I've been planning to play it for like years now. I already have Rebirth as well, and I'll be wanting to play. I don't know anything about this Intermission. Is that something that they added into the Switch version, or is that content? I don't really know the deal with the Final Fantasy VII remake. I know I want to play, and that's about it. Street Fighter 6, I already have that. Did Meyer Civilization 7? My eyes are crossing. I need to end this real soon. Okay, so the Shadow of the Erdtree is included in the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. Oh, a torrent customization, huh? Ooh, I bet you can make torrent look like Epona. You know, a part of me does not want to spend more money on Elden Ring, so I don't think I will. But I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet money that you can make torrent look like Epona. I don't know if there's any other horses in Nintendo history that would be really cool. But that's what that tells me. Is I think there might be a chance that you can make torrent look like Epona. Which makes me also think that maybe there might be specific Nintendo-related customization in Elden Ring Nintendo Switch version that would like allow you to look like Link, or possibly Zelda. One of the two. We have Fortnite. We have Yakuza 0, Darkest Cut, Fortnite, Enter the Gungeon 2, Hitman and World Assassination, and then Project 007. I thought this is kind of interesting. I never got a chance to really play or get into the 007 craze. I know that, Bond was an important cultural icon, so I knew of him, but I never. Oh, apparently it's like this is a featuring a wholly original Bond story. So like this is gonna be like a brand new game. Okay. We have Star Seeker, Astroneer Expeditions, Daemon Ex Machina, Titanic Scion, Deltarune. Deltarune kind of caught my attention. I actually have a list of games that caught my attention. I should probably grab that. I'll probably end this in my video with that. When Star Wars Outlaws is coming to the Switch, I was like, that's interesting. I'll probably still play that if I ever get it on my PC. And then Hollow Knight Silksong got teased in a sizzle reel, and like I saw that, like, oh cool. I never realized the implications that they put Silksong into a sizzle reel. That's not good for Hollow Knight. Makes me wonder if the game's bad or something. Especially since like Silksong's been teased. Apparently Silksong's supposed to be coming out this year. I didn't notice that it had 2025 labeled on it. Again, it still concerns me. And also Nintendo, online. I mean, Nintendo today will be dropping things, weekly. Speaking of, geez, I've been going at this for an hour. Well, almost an hour. We're getting close to the end here. So, manufacturer's suggested retail price. Actual price may vary. Gonna switch to thing with the bundle. Oh, wait a minute. Donkey Kong went down. Wait. Okay, that's what I want to talk about. And it's like part of the reason why I wanted to make this video to begin with. We're gonna go to Mario Kart. Actually, this is how we'll end the video because this is an hour. I don't need to say anymore. I may come back periodically and say things and stuff throughout. Like, it might give my channel a purpose beyond dumping my stream VODs, on which I stream semi regularly on my channel. Usually go for the podcast you saw coming out every week. That's gonna go to every other week, and you'll see that when the next VOD comes out. Huh. What happened to... See, this right here, if you go out and watch other people's videos, I might be able to find one actually about like the original price. Um, that was not $79.99, and in fact, what I want to do was these videos, unless they went down to make I really don't want to use Zach from Switch Force. Let's use GVG. As you can tell just from like one of my recommendations, that what I've been looking at. So what we're gonna do, but this is the thing, this is the Mario Kart World Tour retail for 80 in that digital edition, which my thought on that is, I can't figure out how to buy this, because what I would love to know is if that's, so they got 3 dots. We'll find out what those 3 dots. You say manufacturers suggest retail price, actual price may vary. So they're telling us that this price can either go higher or lower. But I'm telling you that like, that was not the price. Wish I could find. I swear I saw that said 90. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm remembering this wrong. Like, so I'm gonna just say, forget what I said about whatever about this. I thought this dropped, but I'm telling you, I thought that said $89.99 when I looked at it before, and that dropped. But I'm not really finding any proof of that anywhere. Because like when I go to Arlo really quick. Oh, cause all Arlo's talking about is like, you know, you know, how he's feeling. Okay, so I wonder if Austin John plays. I guess before I end it here. I don't need to make this video any longer than I already did. And I would have probably made reactions to this if I wasn't at work. So. Okay, I'm not sure like, what the conversion here is. Cause like that is not USD. I think it's euros actually. And apparently they're giving out two prices for digital and physical. So like right now we're seeing this $79.99 price tag. My thing is I'm wondering if like is this the MSRP for the physical, meaning the digital will be cheaper, meaning essentially the digital will be $60 basically. Like is this telling us that digital is going to be $60? Again, another reason to go digital. Versus having the carts on our you know, on our shelves. But I guess speaking of the cards, I wonder. So just you know, just forget about everything I just was about to say. I thought I was gonna have a point, and I didn't. So yeah, we live and learn. Yeah, I put a lot of my emails in here. I was frantically panicking like in January. Because I'm gonna have a hard time finding it. I'm just hoping, pray to God that I don't. This is actually what I want to talk about. I didn't realize what the you switch to console these game boxes were gonna look, because this is what they look like. They're gonna look like. This is what they look like now. For anybody who needs a actual visual, this is what they look like now. This is what they're going to look. And I'm just gonna be the first one to say it. That's gonna throw off my whole feng shui. I don't know what the spine looks like on that thing, but if the idea is that they didn't want to change the coloring of the spine, because the spine is red, I'm guessing because the spines are gonna look red, we won't notice the difference. I can already foresee a lot of people complaining about that. So yeah. I guess all I'm really saying is that those were the best 60 minutes of my life during the direct. The post price haze is real, man. I hope my hopes are, as we get closer to the launch, we learn things that they hid from us. Because like there's writing everywhere on the site that apparently some of these things are just going to be given, some of the Switch 2 upgrades are going to just be given to us for free. I don't understand why they weren't advertising that. I honestly feel like the fear that they probably had from announcing prices could have easily been like evaded if they were just telling us that through the course of the Switch 2's life, we're going to be giving away things for free to people who have the NSO subscription. Therefore, giving this NSO subscription way more value than they currently already have. That would have really solved a lot of issues. Granted, the wallet pain from the initial purchase is gonna hurt everybody. But what isn't? We live in a capitalist society where, you know, prices are gonna go up. Oh, before I forget. Before I forget, I wanted to end this video off here with this. These are just the things that caught my attention from the direct. The games that I'm most interested in. Donkey Kong Bonanza, the Kirby DLC, Kirby Air Rider kind of caught my attention a little bit there. Mario Kart World Tour, obviously. Deltarune, I gotta say, I don't really play games of that style, but Deltarune kind of caught my attention because I like the music. The Mario Party DLC, because I have the I have the original game. They bought it. Pokemon ZA. I like Pokemon. I would pull out a game over here, but I have my amiibo standing on top of my game cart on my game cases, so not doing that. And then the Hyrule Warriors. Like, it's coming out very later in the year, so I have an opportunity to really think. I hope I said Donkey Kong Bonanza, but yeah, very interested in that. I'm kind of interested in playing Donkey Kong again because I do have Donkey Kong Returns on my Switch, so that'll be moving along with me to the new system. Okay, with that, I'm gonna say for ending it here. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys are looking forward to and what you hate, because obviously not everything's gonna be sunshine and rainbows. You know, we're not all gonna be farting rainbows out of our behinds. Some of us will, but not all of us. And to those that are doing that, I would seek your closest gastroenterologist, because I think you have a problem. Good night, everybody.